Hey Nintendo fans, it's TheJWittz here, and welcome to Nintendo News. I know, it's been 3,000 years since the last Nintendo News video. My life got extremely hectic with all the traveling I had to do, and then all these new Nintendo games came out. But I'm hoping to get Nintendo News back to its former glory, at least once a week, maybe more often if some crazy news develops. But for now, for today, we're gonna do a bit of a slowpoke news segment. There was a lot of really big Nintendo news topics that I haven't talked about yet on Nintendo News, and you guys keep on asking for my opinions, so here they are. Let's do it! Today, it's slowpoke news. Nintendo has announced that a new version of the Nintendo 3DS, literally called the new 3DS, will be coming to both Japan and Australia this holiday season for 2014, and likely other territories, including Europe and North America, coming in 2015. The new 3DS appears to be a minor upgrade of the already existing system. Most of its major changes are adding a second trigger button on both the right and left side of the system, as well as a tiny little nub, not quite an analog stick, but called the C-Stick still. It'll come in both the regular and XL version, and both these versions are just slightly larger than the original 3DS and the original 3DS XL. Some other upgrades that the system has includes a screen that adapts to brightness, making it easier to see depending on where you are, and a slightly faster computer. Perhaps the most interesting thing that the new 3DS adds is eye motion tracking for its 3D. If you've ever played an original Nintendo 3DS or the 3DS XL, you know how hard it is to get 3D. You have to look directly at the screen, and if you look at it at an angle, it completely ruins the effect, and for most people, that's the reason why the Nintendo 2DS even exists. Most people don't even use the 3D at all. However, the new 3DS can track whether you're viewing the screen at an angle, from down, up, left, or right, giving you that 3D effect throughout while watching. While I haven't experienced this in public yet, a few people have tried demos and said that the 3D tracking actually works really well. So if you like 3D but hate having to stare at the screen directly head on, this will at least aid you with that. The new 3DS, like the old Nintendo DSi, will come with some exclusive content that will only work on these new systems and not the old version of the 3DS. The first one that they've announced is a port of the game Xenoblade Chronicles, which came out for the Wii. I have a couple thoughts on this. For one, I think the name New 3DS is probably the worst ever, further proving to me that Nintendo does not know how to name their products. It's going to lead to that awkward conversation where you ask a GameStop employee if they have any used, new 3DSs. There were so many names that could have gone better. You could have gone with 3DSi, 3DS Plus. Heck, they've got a color layout that looks like the old Super Nintendo controller. Why not call it the Super 3DS? Anyway, it's just silly naming conventions, but it sort of bugs me. 2. While extra trigger buttons and a extra analog stick, even though it's just a little nub, does excite me, you know what else has that? The Circle Pad Pro, giving me an actual full analog stick and big ol' extra triggers. Now, does this make your system enormous? Yes, I've got bigger hands than the average person, but I liked this. Super Smash Bros. Deliberately said that this was not going to be compatible, and if I want to do easy smash attacks with the C-Stick, I would have to get a new 3DS on that extra analog nub. They're cool little features that come with an actual easy-to-carry package, but still, they're things that I've seen before on the Nintendo 3DS, just maybe not supported anymore. And finally, so far, as exclusive content comes, Xenoblade Chronicles is going to be great on a portable system. I've said it for a while now, but portable JRPGs are just so much better than their console versions. Take, for example, Persona 4 Golden. Incredible game. There's a lot of grinding in Xenoblade Chronicles, and it's going to be so much easier to grind when you have a portable system. You can play it in bed, play it on the subway, play it on the car, play it wherever. I think that is going to be an awesome addition. Overall, I find it interesting that Nintendo is taking what I like to call the iPhone approach to upgrading the Nintendo 3DS. They're upgrading it one very small step at a time, but by doing this, it allows people to buy the earlier versions for a lot cheaper, or they can get the newer version with a couple of new things. I'm not 100% sold on whether I'd like to upgrade from the existing Nintendo 3DS XL to the Nintendo 3DS XL New, or whatever it's called, but I will keep an eye on this, see what the future software is for this. I don't know if just one Xenoblade Wii port is going to do it for me, but if they come out with a few more exclusive games and some interesting ways to use that tiny little C-Stick nub or the extra trigger buttons, then maybe I'd consider an investment. In Mario Kart news, DLC is coming to Mario Kart 8, and no lies here, this looks like some of the best DLC I've ever seen for a video game ever. Nintendo has announced 2 separate packs of DLC coming to Mario Kart 8, the first including Legend of Zelda characters, and the second including Animal Crossing. The first DLC includes Link, for the first time racing amongst other Mario characters, and Tanuki Mario and Cat Peach as playable characters. It also includes 4 new vehicles, one of them being the Blue Falcon, adding F-Zero into the mix, and a total of 8 new tracks, or 2 full 4-course cups. The Animal Crossing pack includes the Animal Crossing Villager, Isabelle, and Dry Bowser as playable characters, as well as, once again, 4 new vehicles and 8 new tracks. Each DLC pack costs $8 alone, or if you get them both together, you can get them for $12, which is very cheap for what looks to be a lot more game. Getting 8 tracks each for a total of 16 new tracks to the Mario Kart 8 universe looks awesome, and they've already said that there's going to be some classic returning tracks, as well as some new ones created specifically for the DLC. You can get the DLC through the eShop right now, and if you pre-order it, you get 8 separate colors for both Yoshi and Shy Guy in-game. I find that kind of silly. It seems like something that you should just be able to do straight from the beginning of Mario Kart 8, but I'm not upset because this DLC in general looks incredible. I also find it interesting that they're bringing in characters from other Nintendo series into Mario Kart 8. Who knows, maybe Mario Kart 9 won't even be Mario Kart 9. It'll just be like Super Smash Bros. But on cars. Nintendo Kart? In more DLC news, Nintendo's announced yet more DLC. Seems they've been infected by this bug where they can add more gameplay for more money to their games with Hyrule Warriors DLC. Now there's a lot, both free and paid, and it also looks, as expected for Nintendo DLC, pretty sweet. The free DLC pack will be coming with playable characters for Sia, Wizbro, and Volga, the game's created villain characters. It's a staple in the Dynasty Warriors franchise to be able to play as all the villains, so this seemed pretty expected. I was pretty surprised they weren't even in the main game. Then for $20, Nintendo's announced a full season pass of DLC for Hyrule Warriors, even including some games that didn't make their way into the final cut for the original game. So far, DLC plans are coming in monthly increments: October, November, January, and February. The 4 packs all come with a mix of content, including new weapons, scenarios, characters, adventures, and costumes. The most interesting of the 4 is the Majora's Mask pack. Now, I talked in my Hyrule Warriors review of how badly I'd like to see games like Wind Waker and Majora's Mask get characters into the game, and already we've got 1 of the 2. While they have not yet announced which characters are coming out in the packs, there will be 2 based on Majora's Mask, and I'm extremely excited to see that. We could see Fierce Deity, the Deku Scrub, or my personal most wanted new character into the game, the Happy Mask Salesman. Now that would be sick. Overall, I think the $20 season pass for Hyrule Warriors isn't quite as big of a value as that crazy DLC pack coming to Mario Kart 8, but it still seems solid. And I know a lot of people, when they hear the words DLC, they get worried. They think if you purchase a game that offers DLC, you're basically telling developers that they can make a partial game that you pay full price for, then give them even more money for the full game. But if you've played Hyrule Warriors like I have, it comes out Friday for North America, you'll know this is a complete game. I've already logged over 100 hours in Hyrule Warriors, which is disgusting, and I still have more weapons to collect. So there's certainly a lot of game there. The DLC is just adding more variety if you want even more characters, and that seems pretty cool to me. And in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire news, there were 3 new Mega Evolutions revealed, as well as a new demo coming for the game soon. The Megas include Mega Camerupt, who gets the ability Sheer Force, and combines the 2 volcanoes onto his back into 1 Mega Volcano. Mega Sharpedo gets some cool new tribal tattoos, as well as the Strong Jaw ability and an increase to all of its stats, including its already high attack stat. Mega Gallade gets an increase to its attack, speed, and the ability Inner Focus, as well as new retractable claws on its arms, which sort of remind me of the Dual Disc. We also learned a little bit more about Mega Groudon and Mega Kyogre, both getting new weather abilities that seem insane. Groudon creates a drought that makes water moves ineffective, and new weather-changing moves can't remove it. Kyogre gets a similar opposite effect, where it prevents all fire-type moves, and also weather conditions can't change that as well. Rayquaza has also been confirmed to be in this game, so for anybody worried that this won't have the elements from the Emerald series, I'm pretty sure it will. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire both release in November, but I'll let you guys know as soon as I have more info on that demo. It's supposed to include a Pokemon that Mega evolves, and that you can transfer up to the main game once it's released, so that's pretty exciting. And speaking of demos, the Smash Bros. 3DS demo is finally out in North America, allowing you to try out Smash Bros. 3DS with 5 characters, including Pikachu, Mario, Villager, Mega Man, and Link. While this demo is limited, it should give you guys a completely free taste of what Smash Bros. 3DS is going to be like, whether you'd like to purchase it or not, and it should give you guys some pre-hype for the game, which comes out in just a week worldwide. However, if you'd like to see some more full footage of the entire game on 3DS, Smash Bros. 3DS has been out in full in Japan for a couple of weeks now, and I've been streaming it, getting some footage over at twitch.tv/TheJWittz. If you're interested in seeing some of the footage, watching it live, or watching some of my archived footage of the game when it came out at release, you can check it over at that channel here. That's all for this episode of Nintendo News, but as always, if you enjoyed this episode, you can click this button down here to subscribe to my channel, get alerts right when my new videos are coming out. I'm hoping to get Nintendo news out more frequently, and now that I've got my fiancée Renee helping with the editing, it should be great. Be sure to say hi to her in the comments. I'm sure she did a great job, and it's awesome having her aboard. Also, if you want to check out my full review of Hyrule Warriors, learn more about the game before it releases this Friday, you can click right here to check out my review of the game, and I actually really enjoyed it. Also, if you want to see Hyrule Warriors streamed live, I'm trying to do another live event for Hyrule Warriors like I did for the Japanese release of Smash Bros. I'm sure you'll hear more from me about that on this channel. But as always, you can head over to twitch.tv/TheJWittz to get more information and watch the full live event of Hyrule Warriors. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next Nintendo News vid.